All right, so this is a basically a screen capture that was sent with a design that had been put together by somebody at some point. It needs to be replicated in a BlueBridge device. Um, as we can see here, this has 4 pink noise generators, a parametric EQ, gain, a second EQ, muting, and then goes to output. There are also a couple of presets being triggered. We don't know what those presets are. I don't have any visibility. This is just a JPEG screenshot. So I don't actually know what those presets are, but we'll go through the process of preset creation, and hopefully you can figure out what you need to do from there. So what we'll do here in BlueBridge Designer is we'll attempt to replicate that. One key difference is I don't have a BB88 here in my office on my network to plug into, so I'm going to do this using a BB1616. All the same stuff will apply, it's just I have a physically different device to use. So what I'll do is I'll drag over a BB1616 from the right, let go of it. That gives us this. The next thing that I'm going to do is double click it, open it up, and that gives us this, which is our workspace inside the device. To establish the difference between the two of those things, whatever I do inside here in this window with the BB1616, this is stuff that's going to actually be in the device. These are processes that will take place in it that it cares about. All the stuff taking place here is mostly for just system overview. You don't actually have to do anything out here. If you wanted to have, for the sake of just, understanding how your system's going to go together, you could have, something like a audio source could be out here and could connect to this input, and you'd have an amplifier of some sort that's out here on this side that the output connects to. And then you could have a speaker of some sort that goes over here. However, these things are not part of the design inside the device. These are just for your kind of layout convenience. So we're going to go ahead and highlight these and delete them because they're not part of what we're doing today. If you double click this, open up, this is what's in the device. This is what we care about making. So the first thing we had on this design is, like I said, we had 4 pink noise generators, 4 parametric EQs, 4 gains, 4 graphic EQs, 4 mutes, and these went to outputs. We had nothing on the inputs, and we had 2 preset triggers. So the first thing that I'll go ahead and do is I'll drag in our pink noise generator from the left, and that brings us there. We've got a pink noise. The next thing that we had on there was a parametric equalizer, so I'll drag one over, let go of it. Then after that we had a gain, I'll drag one over, let go of it. And then after that we had another equalizer, so we'll put in a graphic EQ just like in the original. And then finally we had a mute before passing this off to the output. So that's one set. So then the next thing I'll do is I'll tie these all together. That's going to go across like this. This just to make sure that the device knows what signal path to use. These have to actually be connected from input to output to input to output. The next thing we'll do is drag a loop around this, just like dragging around a bunch of text you want to select in a Word document. Hold it down, let go. That highlights these all. You can see the yellow border. Now Control-C on the keyboard to copy, and Control-V pastes them. And you'll see that it pastes the connection between them too. So we'll paste a couple more on there so that we have our full set, just like in the original document. And that gives us this. Now we can drag from up here over to there and wire these up. That connects them to the output just like in the original. And the next thing we'll do is we've got our logic input switches here. This can go to preset trigger 1 just like in the original document, and this can go to preset trigger 2 just like in the original document. And we'll figure out how to work with those next. Now you can see here that this is approximately what we have, right? We've got the same thing set up here. Each of these is going to have a bunch of stuff inside of it that you can play with as well. As an example, if you double click on the pink noise generator, that gives you a level control. You can go ahead and click on mute on that if you want to. And one thing you can do if you happen to want to declutter this a little bit, you can use this mute to mute that channel instead of having a separate mute module. This mute can be dragged to any button control, or it can be dragged to a preset. So you don't actually have to have a separate mute module in here. The next thing you'll see is parametric. If you double click on the parametric EQ, you'll see that you've got a single parameter. Now let's say that you wanted a lot more parameters. You can take this parametric, click on it once out here, And over here on the component properties, give yourself up to 8 bands of parametric. So now when we double click on this, you'll see that you've got 8 separate bands that you can mess with. You can give them, the frequency, how wide the Q width is on them. They give you quite a lot you can kind of play with there. The gain just gives you a regular gain control, nothing exciting there. That of course could also be controlled from this end if you wanted to. So again, if you're decluttering, you don't necessarily need 2 separate gains unless you have a particular reason. Graphic EQ, similar story. You've got a total of 10 bands in here you can mess with, but if you highlight it, you can choose a 31 band, so it's a 1/3 octave EQ if you want instead. So now when you open this up, you can see that there's 31 bands, which means it may not be necessary to have 2 separate stages of EQ unless you really want to. So now let's get to work on system presets. These are pretty easy to work with. If you see this little button up here that says system presets, you can click on that and that'll show you that there are none defined right now. But we can go ahead and fix that really easily. Let's just say that you wanted these to relate to a specific loudness level or gain level for your masking signal. What we'll do is we'll open up this gain here and we'll set this to say a negative 75 or whatever, right? If you drag a loop around the thing that you want to control, which is this right here, and you see that that's highlighted, now you can right click on that and choose Save Parameter to Preset. I'll create a new preset and we'll call that Gain 175. And then we'll take this and go, okay, well now we want to change this to a kind of a higher level. So we'll move that up to, gain negative 26 or whatever. Again, if you drag a loop around it, right click it, Save Parameter to Preset, we'll create a new preset and we'll call that Gain 125 or whatever. So now that we've created these presets, where are they? If you click on System Presets, you'll see that they're right here. Now if you take the gain and click on 25, that sets that as active. If we open this up, we'll see that that's at 25. Now if I click on 75, you can see it immediately switches this to negative 75 because those presets have been created and those will correspond to your logic inputs here. This is not in live mode yet, so that's the next thing we'll go to. So this is set up how we want it to be, but you'll notice that this is not yet tied to a physical device in the real world. See how you can see the kind of little polka dots through it? If you right click on these and choose Map Physical Device, it'll show you the ones on your network that match the configuration here. This is 1616, so it'll show me any 1616 on my network. I have one, we'll select it, and now this is mapped to a physical device. It shows up as this dark red. So this will now be able to publish directly to a physical device in the real world. If I click on Switch to Online Mode, it'll ask if I want to save it, tell it yes, and then it's going to begin publishing. You'll see it's got a little progress bar here. It'll take 15 to 30 seconds. You may hear a couple of relay clicks as it does its reboot sequence. So now the device is in live mode, meaning that any changes that we make in here are going to be happening on the actual physical device. So if it had speakers connected to it, things that you're looking at here would actually be happening to that speaker. You'll notice that there's no little dots anymore on this. That's to indicate that it's not in design mode, it's in online mode. If you double click on output, you can see that we've got these set. These are the levels of the pink noise coming out. If I open up pink noise and I reduce this in real time, you can see that that reduces as well. That would be, like I said, a change that's occurring in real time on this device. If we disconnect this, if we switch out of blueprint mode or just unplug the network cable from it, whatever the last parameters are we had on there will be the parameters that the device will be working with. Now that we're back in blueprint mode, you can see the little dots came back. Any of these changes we make here will not occur in real time. They won't happen at all until we switch back to online mode. So anyway, that's pretty much everything that we had from the question. So if there's anything else that I can help with, always remember to contact us here at Atlas Sound.